you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Thursday Night Football Overtime. Rams hosting the Minnesota Vikings. We knew this was going to be a good game. We knew that these two teams were good football teams. Now, the Vikings record right now does not bear that out at 1-1-2. However, they're a good football team. Now, again, you can be a good football team and have your record not reflect that. And if the Vikings aren't careful, they've got another one, another toughie next week at Philadelphia. They could easily be staring 1-1-3 in the face if they're not careful. And after looking at the way things are going in the NFC conference, because their division is up for grabs. The Packers are right where they are in terms of record. You look at the Bears, you can't expect the Bears to actually win this division. Who knows what the Detroit Lions are. So even with the rough start for the Vikings, they're still in a division that looks like it might be trash this year. So it's going to give them an opportunity to dig themselves up out of a hole and see if they can't still rally back and win the division. And again, it's so early. We're 4 weeks in. It's too early to be talking about divisions and who will win this and who will win that. However, you don't want to start digging yourself a hole. It's early. I get that. But we expected so much more from this Vikings team. And right now, we're not getting what we signed up for. And so this team is struggling right now. And again, that's why last week was so important. You can't lose games that you're not supposed to lose. When you've won the division and you're looked upon as one of the best teams in the league, not just in the NFC, not just in the NFC North, but in the league, you can't afford to drop games because your schedule is going to be tough. Your schedule is going to be tough. You can't afford to drop games you have no business dropping. And that game last week versus Buffalo, it's hurting them right now. They have no business being 1-2 right now, but they could easily be 1-1-3 next week if they don't get the Eagles. They've got 10 days off between games. They need to lick their wounds. Meanwhile, the Rams, if you're watching the league right now, you can't tell me that the Los Angeles Rams don't look like the best team in the league. I just don't understand how you could come to any other conclusion but the Rams are the best team in football. I mean, you look at what the Rams have done this season, and you could question them after the first couple of weeks because they weren't playing anybody. They were playing the Little Sisters of the Poor. They played the Raiders. They played the Arizona Cardinals, and you could look at those teams and say, all right, who'd you really play? All right, they played the Chargers. The Chargers can never get out of their own way, but the Chargers are a formidable opponent. So that's not like the Raiders or the Cardinals in the first 2 weeks. But this was the one where you said, okay, this team mopped the floor with you last year, 31-7 at their place. You're looking for a little bit of revenge. You're at home, Thursday night, big spot. Let's see if the crowd shows up. They did. Wanted to see just how good you are. Vikings have struggled on defense. We'll talk about all of that tonight. But they struggled on defense this year. So I wasn't sure if they were going to get a true test there. But still, go out and shred them, okay? They're still the Minnesota Vikings. Go out and shred them. And that's exactly what they did tonight. This offense looks unstoppable, led by the Goffense. The Los Angeles Goffense, led by Jared Goff and my man Cooper Kupp. That guy, I loved him coming out of Eastern Washington. I loved him coming out of Eastern Washington. And tonight was a career game for him. You know what I always say about Cooper Kupp? I'll tell you that a little bit later. I drew a nice blank there. But in any event, Robert Woods, he wasn't this good in Buffalo. It's amazing how when you get this collection of talent around each other, how things just kind of come together. And I talked about this on the lockdown coverage this week, that Brandon Cooks completes this Rams offense. They needed a #1 guy to tie it all in together. Robert Woods is the perfect quintessential #2 in this league. Cooper Kupp is probably the best third option in all of football. And the tight end position, you still haven't gotten what they're going to get out of their tight ends, Gerald Everett and Tyler Higbee. You look at this offense, and of course, arguably the best three-down back in all of football in Todd Gurley. And so this offense is ridiculous right now. It's just absolutely ridiculous. The offensive line up front gives Goff plenty of space and time to operate. And the guy was throwing dimes. Remember when he first came out? Remember that first season? I sat in this chair after I want to say it was a Thursday night game in his rookie season. And I sat here and I listened to a barrage of comments talking about how bad this guy was, and he was trash and he was a bust and the Rams got the wrong guy. And look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was always on the Jared Goff bandwagon, because I was a Carson Wentz guy, still am. But they may have gotten it right. Remember, we thought that they got it for a while. A lot of us thought that the Rams got it wrong and that Wentz should have been the guy. And a lot of us were killing the Browns for trading out of number one because Wentz was the guy. And everybody was lauding and praising the Eagles because Wentz was the guy. And everybody was pointing their finger and wagging it and laughing at the Rams because Wentz was the guy and you got it wrong. Maybe they didn't get it wrong. Maybe they got the right guy. Jared Goff looks to be the real deal, folks. Tonight was a coming out party, and he's done this before. It's not like he hasn't had games where he's been exceptional. Remember this spot last year? I think it was more like week 3 on Thursday Night Football versus the San Francisco 49ers. Remember how good he was? They scored 41 that night. Remember how good he was? I sat here last year, and again, we didn't know how good the Rams were going to be at that time. It was just the Rams. It's just cute. You know, it's week 3. You know, you didn't know at the time. Now, all of a sudden, the Rams have a true signal caller running the Goffense out in Los Angeles, tearing shit up. I'm just here to tell you, man, the Rams right now, top to bottom, look like the best team in all of football. That goes for each conference. Doesn't matter how you stack it up. The defense didn't have its best night tonight. Credit the Vikings offense. They're really good on the offensive side of the football of the Vikings. It's amazing how they finally get what they need at the quarterback position and on offense, and now the defense stinks. It's crazy how that happens in football. In sports in general, but especially football. For the longest time, your defense is pulling the weight, and they're the ones doing everything. They can't get any breaks because the offense isn't getting it done. Not to say that the offense was trash last year, but it was Case Keenum. You knew that that was going to run out at some point. Now you've got a guy that can actually take you where you want to go, and he played his ass off tonight, did Kirk Cousins. And now the defense is completely trash. They've fallen apart at the seams. And this goes all the way back to week 1. I remember saying to myself, and I feel like Mike Zimmer took his foot off the gas pedal in week 1 versus San Francisco, but still, in a normal season with that defense, you get up 24-6, and I think that's what the score was at the time. You get up 24-6, game's over with this Vikings defense. They're putting you to sleep. You go ahead, get in the bed, you know, get your comfortable pillow and a blanket. You're going to sleep. It's 24-6. It's night-night. Lights out. And the 49ers had opportunities to steal that game late. And I said, man, that wasn't the Vikings defense I'm used to seeing. And then the following week, I watched them against Green Bay, and I know it's Aaron Rodgers, and I know it's the Green Bay Packers, but it's Aaron Rodgers on one leg. They couldn't even get to him. And he shredded them. And I'm like, what the hell is going on out there? So then I said, okay, this is the get right game against Buffalo. This is when you get to lick your wounds, you get right, you go out there, you smoke these boys, you beat them 33-7, and you keep it moving, and it gives you a little confidence going into that Thursday night game versus the Rams. And then the Bills bless them. Josh Allen looking like Superman, jumping over tall buildings in a single bound, leaping over Viking defenders at midfield, diving for pylons. What the hell is the tight end Kroom running up the sideline? Not a Viking in sight. The hell is going on with these guys? they really miss Everson Griffin too. And I hope his situation improves. Don't know all the details about his situation, but mental health is nothing to play with. My prayers go out to him and his family. I hope he's able to get his situation squared away. We're not even talking about football anymore. We're just talking about life in general. He needs help. Hopefully he's getting the help that he needs in any event. They're struggling on the defensive side of football. They can't get to the quarterback. They're secondary. You know what really makes me laugh is when a DB commits an infraction but then goes off and acts like he didn't do anything. Did you see Rhodes tonight, Xavier Rhodes? After he molested and groped Brandon Cooks, got a holding penalty, went off on the sideline and threw a temper tantrum like a 5-year-old. Bruh, you just undressed that man. You literally tried to take his jersey off his back. And you complaining? About what? You should be in jail right now, bruh. That is sexual harassment, what you just did. What are you talking about? Yet this man is over there throwing a bitch fit. A straight BF on the sidelines. Bruh, get your head out of your ass. And because you throwing a BF, now you got Trey Waynes trying to check the other team's #1 wide receiver. He got cooked by Cooks. How'd that work out? Sent that man to the locker room. Get him out of here with a concussion. Dropped him on his dome piece. Trying to run with Brandon Cooks 50 yards down the field. Not a good idea. The best part of waking up is the Rams Cooper Cup. Why don't you go get you some, man? The best part of waking up, the Rams Cooper Cup. Kicking ass tonight. That's my guy, Cooper Cup. I don't know how you stop this Rams offense. Remember what I told Rams fans when you were able to go out and get Sean McVay? Remember what I told you? I said, you are getting an offensive genius, man. I don't know what he's going to be as a head coach. What I can tell you is that your offense is going to be A1. I told you the day that man signed on the dotted line, I said, this is the best thing that could have happened to Jared Goff. Did I not tell you that? Do you not remember that video? Do you not remember me telling you that this guy was going to change the fortunes of your franchise offensively? And then he did the smartest thing he could have ever done. He said, I don't know anything about running a defense. I know all about defense and how to dissect them and break them down, but I don't know anything about coaching up defense. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a guy that I know knows how to coach up defense, and I'm going to let him run a defense, and I'm going to just leave that alone. I'm going to let them do what they do, and I'm going to do what I do on the offensive side. And all of a sudden now, you got Wade Phillips over there running a hell of a defense with Sue and Donald and all those guys over there. Look at John Franklin over there, man. Look at John Franklin Myers over there, the 3rd round pick, making plays. What is it, Stephen F. Austin? Where's that guy from? Making plays to win the game. That's when you know you got shit going, man. That's when you know you got good juju and good karma. When your rookie 3rd round pick is making plays, 3rd or 4th round pick is making a play to preserve the victory. You know how many teams would kill for one pass rusher that can impact the game in the final stages? You got like 9. You got like 9 dudes that can get to the quarterback at any given moment and wreck shop. I'm over here with the Redskins just begging for one of my dudes to turn it up. And I may have something in the interior. I'm cooking up some stuff over there. But I'd love to have somebody come off the edge, get a sack. They moved Sue outside, and Sue said, let me get one. AD said, hey, I may have 2 first names, and nobody trusts me because I got 2 first names, but I'm going to bag me 2 quarterbacks tonight. I'm going to bag me Kirk Cousins, not once, but twice. And then John Franklin Myers said, well, hey, if y'all going to do that, I need to go ahead and get me one while we here. Hey, this Vikings line is trash. It is a sieve. It is straight garbage can juice. Let me get one. And they actually didn't play bad tonight until the game mattered. That's when shit got ugly. That's when you started seeing holes. That's when Aaron Donald started to take over. That's when Ndamukong Suh said, let me get some. That's when John Franklin Myers said, don't mind if I do. But up until about the 4th quarter, the line actually wasn't that bad. Kirk Cousins had time, and you saw what the man did with time. We saw what he did with time. But hell, he didn't even have time versus Green Bay. And we saw what he did in that game. Kirk Cousins is showing you he's worth the money. But goddamn it, he didn't sign up to do the same thing he was doing in Washington, which is carry the team on his damn back. At least he has more weapons around him offensively, but this defense is a mess right now. And I don't even know how to pinpoint what's actually wrong with the Vikings on defense other than the pass rush isn't what it once was. But still, Danielle Hunter is getting there. He got another sack tonight. I don't think they're getting what they thought they were going to get out of Sheldon Richardson. Obviously, not having Everson Griffin hurts. But I look at this football team, and I just don't know what's wrong. Can Anthony Barr get a break? Man, was he getting roasted tonight. Roasted, toasted, and just absolutely destroyed. How many touchdowns did he get caught on his head tonight? They got to stop doing that to my man Anthony Barr. God damn, he got his ass toe up tonight. Every time I looked, all I saw was 55. And Barr. Him running after somebody and them catching a touchdown. Gurley caught the touchdown on him. Cooper Kupp caught the touchdown. The best part of waking up is Rams Cooper Kupp running for a 70-yard touchdown. Anthony Barr. Why is Anthony Barr one-on-one with Cooper Kupp 50 yards down the field? Can somebody explain that to me? If you think that's a good idea, you need to wash your face and get your mind right. I don't understand these things. And then one more for good measure. Up the damn seam with the ex-Bill receiver for another touchdown. Every one of those dudes blessed him for a touchdown. What are they doing with Anthony Barr? I don't know. Bottom line is they're in trouble, are the Vikings. And the Rams, meanwhile, look like the best team in football. They've got the offense, they've got the defense, and they've even got special teams. Hell, they out there throwing the football around with their punter. They having fun tossing it around the yard with the punter. Punter pump fake one way and threw it 50 yards the other way. What are we doing out here, man? They having fun now. And after it didn't work, you know, normally when you're, because they love Fossil in Los Angeles. He might be the best special teams coach in all of football. They love Fossil. And after that didn't work, they put the camera on him. The man is laughing on. Do you know how many special teams coordinators, they get one shot to call their little fancy play, and if that shit don't work, it ain't all smile, shits, and giggles. They pissed off because they know they'll never get another opportunity to do that again. They pissed off because they worked on this shit in practice all week for it to work, and it didn't. He over there laughing because he's like, I'll get another chance in 3 weeks, and we'll knock it out. Like, they're having fun in Los Angeles with this Rams team right now, man. You got Cooper Kupp. The best part of waking up is your man Cooper Kupp. You got the Golfence. You got Ty Gurley. He's an all true man, yeah, baby. Don't call him Gurley. It's a man. They got everything you're looking for right now. Then you go to the defensive side. Aqib Talib was banged up tonight. Doesn't matter. Marcus Peters played on one leg. The man injured his calf, didn't finish the game. Short turnaround. He was out there gutting it out. I don't know, man. And then you know they can get after you with their defensive line. You saw that tonight. I don't know, man. I don't know how you elevate someone over this Rams team right now. Either conference. They're the team to beat in the NFC. And we already knew it was a foregone conclusion. They're going to get the same pass that the Patriots have been getting for years in the AFC East. They're going to get that same pass this year in the NFC West. That division is god-awful. It is, and now with Jimmy G done for the year, it is straight trash. Did you see that? They're 4-0. The next best team in the division is 1-2. Yikes! Zoink Scoob! They're going to win that division by week 10. They're going to be 9-1, and the next best team is going to be like 2-7. They're going to clinch the division in week 10. What are we doing here, folks? Get these guys some competition. Wow. Wowzers. In any event, let's get to y'all comments, man. It's crazy. It's crazy out here on these streets, man. Yikes. All right. Let's go all the way back to the top. TikTok, you don't stop. My man, the 20th Mike says, man, what a performance by both teams. Facts. Let's narrow the focus. Both teams' offense. It was limited defense until late by the Rams. But for the most part, this was a offensive explosion by both teams, and it was fun to watch. That's what offensive efficiency looks like on both sides for both teams. I mean, Cousins was unconscious in the first half, but Jared Goff in the Goffense stole the show in Los Angeles. The man, listen to these halftime stats, man. I can't make this shit up. The man was 13 of 16 for 251 and 4 touchdowns at halftime. That's a game for some quarterbacks. That's 2 games, 2 whole games for some quarterbacks. That was a half of work. 1 half of work. Are you serious right now? 20th Mike also says, but if only the game kept going after our good old man Kirk fumbled at the most crucial part, we would have been talking about another tie. I don't think we would have been talking about a tie. They may have tied it up, taken it to overtime, possibly. I don't know. It would have been nice to get some bonus football. But I picked the Rams to win. I didn't need this thing to go to overtime. I was pretty cool with it ending in regulation. So in any event, this was a hell of a performance by both quarterbacks, both teams offensively. They were outstanding. RG3 hashtag says, Vikings to get some offensive linemen in next year's draft coming up. I know they're playing the Rams front 4, but damn, I hear you, bro. It's been rough. I mean, you saw what the Bills did to him last week, though. You know what I mean? The Bills had fun. They had a fiesta, 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 woo! Fiesta, 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 fiesta. Hey, you want a sack? What about you? You want a sack? When you had a sack? Last time, 2013, come get you a sack, man. What you doing? Get your ass over here, get a sack, man. They passing these things out over here. Vikings is giving them up. If you want one, go get one. So it's rough out there on those streets, man. And they couldn't afford injuries, and they got injuries up front. They were already bad before the injuries, and then the injuries hit, and you're like, shit, what you gonna do now? I don't know. Stop asking. KC says, Kirk had linemen bearing down on him on handoff. Did you see that? His first 2 handoffs of the game were almost fumbles because they would get in the backfield. I'm like, wait a minute. Where they do that at? This is crazy. But I'm going to tell you what, though. The first one was Marcus Peters. That's just special. That's just a football player being a football player. Because he was supposed to be going in motion with the ghost action on the jet sweep. And he said, man, to hell with that. I'm going to just blitz. So that was some off script. That was some off script excellence by my man Marcus Peters. Because honestly speaking, he wasn't supposed to do that. He just took it upon himself to be greedy, and he almost made a play. What up, Black L.A.B? John Niner says, Kirk chokes again. I hate when y'all put it on my man Kirk like Kirk won't out there blessing them boys. Bless them. He was blessing them boys. Problem was, look, man, they scored 31. How many times against the Minnesota Vikings defense is 31 points not enough if you're the Vikings offense? That's not the case this year. Like, it's almost like Kirk showed up at the wrong time. Because last year, 31 points for the Vikings, that was good enough for you to win 2 whole games with them. They would stop one team from scoring 14, and then the next week someone would score 13, and that 31 would be good for 2 weeks. That coupon wouldn't expire for 2 weeks. You score 31, you good for 2 weeks. Because they're not giving up a total of 31 in the next 2 games. This year, you might need 38 to get the win with the way the Vikings playing defense right now. FBG Tony says, let me finish this. John Niner says the reason why the Skins let him go. Nah, that ain't even why. The Redskins, they were foolish is what it all boils down to. They were foolish. They mismanaged and miscalculated what it was going to take to re-sign Kirk Cousins. And they didn't know how good he was, and they didn't know what they had. When this man was asking for $48 million guaranteed, which is laughable now. The man wanted $48 million guaranteed after the 15th season, and the Redskins said, nah, we'll give you half of that. We'll give you 24. What? Andy Dalton's making more money than that. Colin Kaepernick was making more money. Are you serious right now? You gonna look me in my face and tell me I'm only worth $24 million and I just threw for damn near 5,000 yards and screamed you like that and made you more money? And you gonna tell me I'm only worth $24 million? Okay, cool. I'll wait a couple of years and then get $84 million guaranteed. That's why he's not in Washington, because we undervalued and underestimated what this guy was really worth. You put Kirk Cousins on a team with any semblance of a defense right now, the man is either 4-0 or 3-1 right now. He's played that well this year. For anyone to say that they lost this game because of Kirk Cousins and he choked again, blasphemy. You be struck down right now. Blasphemy. It's craziness. They're not even in this game without 8. Are you serious right now? Don't make me go to the defense of my man Captain Kirk. FBG Tony says, damn, the Vikings can miss the postseason if they don't rally back. Philadelphia coming up, and if they lose, they are 3 games in the loss column. He said, this Rams team is beyond scary, bro. What the F? I don't know how you beat these dudes. If they don't have injuries this year, and I hope they don't, I just don't see anybody in the NFC being able to contend with them. Someone may emerge in the AFC, you know, to cool their ass off. But in the NFC, I just don't see anybody being able to deal with what they bring to the table. Larry G's the best says, if Rhodes was still in the game, the Vikings would have come out on top. False. Rhodes was in the game for much of the game. He was getting his ass toasted. Did you see? And that might have partly been because of the cramps. But did you see cook Xavier Rhodes? Put him in the pot and cooked his ass, low and slow. Had that man on the ground begging for mercy. Yikes. He wouldn't have made a difference. It's too many weapons. He can only guard one man, okay? Oh, you want to take away Brandon Cooks? Fine, I'll just bless you with one of the other guys. The best part of waking up, the Rams Cooper Cup. He was the one doing them anyway. He was the one that was doing them anyway, and then Robert Woods said, well, don't you start stealing all of it. Let me get some. Damn, share. He said, hey, let me go holler at YG real quick. Get a touchdown, holler at YG. Why not? It's L.A. Syndico says, damn, the game. He said, Eric Reed to the Panthers. The second richest owner in the league, David Tepper, basically said, what's the point of having effing money and say F you to the NFL? Look, I'm really feeling David Tepper right now, and I love the move. I really do. I could understand Kaepernick not being in the league. Okay, fine. But what I can't understand is Eric Reed not being in the league. The man was probably one of the 7 best safeties in all of football. How is he not employed? We knew what it was. Talked about that on my podcast. Good to see this man get work. It shouldn't have took this long, honestly speaking, but good to see him back in the league where he belongs in any event. Damn, I must have offended some people tonight. I must be talking to some people with some thin skin. I must have hurt some little bottoms tonight. Got 4 dislikes already. Only 9 likes. But all y'all watching the video and I got 9 likes. What are you guys doing? Hit the damn like button. Jeez. FBG Tony says, yo, what's up with Kirk and these turnovers late in games? He looks like the Redskins KC8, LOL. Look, the fumble in this game, look, what can you do, man? What can you do? Your dude got beat. Kirk thought he was cool. Didn't need to step up in the pocket. Didn't have the awareness that you would like him to have in that situation. The man ran for a 19-yard gain. He was their leading, listen to what I'm saying to you right now. He was their leading rusher tonight. Kirk Cousins was their leading rusher tonight. He's doing it all by himself again. He feels like he's in Washington all over again, except with better weapons, with much better weaponry. But he feels like he's in Washington. No run game right now, which to speak of. If he's leading the team in rushing, there's a problem. Okay? They gave up 38 in this game, did the defense. They gave up 28 of it in the first half. And the man was playing out of his mind in the first half. And he was still losing by double digits. Yeah, it's his fault. I'm lost. I'm lost. I don't know. Anyway. JP says, damn, Kirk fumbled the game away thanks to that Vikings offensive line. That unit is terrible. I keep hearing the same thing. He fumbled the game away, and I'm just like, it's almost like everybody talking about how bad the Patriots defense is right now. And yeah, they stink. They're bad. But I'm like, last time I checked, the Patriots offense isn't scoring any points. Like, you don't just put this all on the defense. Like, that's what we're doing right now. Like, the defense wasn't bad last year and the offense would bail them out. Like, where's the balance here? You know, there's times when the defense would pick up Brady and company, and there was times when the offense had to pick up the defense. Same thing here. Like, there's no leeway. There's no blame for the Vikings offensive line. There's no blame for the Vikings defense. There's no blame for the Vikings special teams. We just put this on Kirk because of one fumble at the end of the game. The man threw for damn near 400 yards in this game. They're not even close if it's not for Kirk Cousins. I don't know. That's just me, though. Anyway. John Niner says, Chiefs are balling, too, so I wouldn't say the Rams are the best. It's wide open in the NFC. But the Chiefs don't play no damn defense, though. That's the difference. That would be a great game from a shootout standpoint, potentially. But I don't know. The Rams may be able to get to Mahomes. You know? Again, what I've seen from the Chiefs thus far, they're explosive and dynamic. What I've seen from the Rams, they're explosive and dynamic. And so I think if you put those two teams in the same arena and let them go at it, that would be a lot of fun to watch. But the upper hand goes to the Rams on the defensive side of the football, and that's why I think they would come out on top. So we'll see, though. That's getting way ahead of ourselves. Kevin says, you think the Vikes D was overrated coming into the season or just playing bad right now? There was no reason to assume that they wouldn't do what they've done under Mike Zimmer since he got in Minnesota. They've been stellar on defense since Mike Zimmer took over. Zimmer has got this defense playing exceptional football every single year. Every year. So why would I think it would be any different this year? No, they weren't overrated coming into the season. They were one of the best defenses last year. This same unit, pretty much the same exact group, minus a piece here, a piece there, they held the Rams to like less than 200 yards of total offense last year and 7 points. They took that Falcons offense, dismantled them, and threw the pieces all over the field. That's what they were doing to teams last year, this Vikings defense. There was no reason to think that they wouldn't come back and do the same thing this year. But as I've said numerous times, each year is its own entity. So because they were good last year, the assumption is they're going to be good this year. That couldn't be any further from the truth. So no, I don't think they were overrated, to answer your question. I just don't think they're playing good football right now, and they miss Everson Griffin, and I don't think they're playing good football right now. It's just as simple as that. And also credit the competition. You know, they're not playing the little sisters of the poor. They've had some rough ones early in the season. They got Aaron Rodgers in week 2. They got the Rams, red-hot Rams offense. The only one in there that you could look at and say, wow, that was a dud of an offense, and you let them come in and bless you was the Buffalo Bills. So even week 1 with the 49ers have talent. Or at least they did. So it's been rough on them. RG3 hashtag says, what's really going on with Everson Griffin? Look, the man had an episode, man. And honestly, mental health is real. You know, mental health, sickness, and illness is real. It really is. And sometimes people tend to ignore that or just, oh, that man tripping, or, oh, he crazy. Nah, he need help. You know, he threatened to shoot a hotel employee. I don't know the circumstances surrounding that situation, but it was unwarranted. Now, They didn't find him with a gun or anything like that, but he threatened to shoot a hotel employee, and then he tried to break into the home of one of his Viking teammates. The man is sick. Something's wrong. And so he's being evaluated medically right now for his mental health. And so I just hope everything works itself out. He may be bipolar. Something may be going on. There may be a chemical imbalance there that they need to fix. Something's going on there, obviously. His behavior has been erratic and irrational, and his wife had to check him into a mental health facility. So, like I said, my prayers go out to him and his family. I hope everything turns out okay, but right now he's just not fit to play football. Right now he's not fit to be out and about in the public, let alone playing football. So you just hope that things get better for him moving forward. Reese says, that running throw to Cooper Kupp in the end zone was filthy. That was filthy. The touchdown pass to there was a sideline pass to Cooper Kupp. No, to Brandon Cooks. Filthy. That one was on the move to his left. To his left. The man was dropping dimes. The touchdown pass to Cooks, 55 yards down the field, on the button. And that was actually not bad coverage by Trey Waynes. Yikes! The man was unconscious tonight. Unconscious. Ridiculous. FBG Tony says, Golfence though, that shit is hilarious, bro. You're a funny guy. Cooks is a monster. All right, Woods compliments him perfectly. Kupp is a dog and simply amazing offensively for the Rams. They just got too many weapons right now, man. And that man didn't even mention Todd Gurley, man. He's an all true man, yeah, baby. He didn't even mention Gurley. Mondraw says, I don't know, the Chiefs, this offense is great because of, he said, I don't know, Chief. This offense is great because of Sean McVay. That's my opinion. The guy's a genius. Yes, that's partly true. He is a genius. He did take this offense that was stuck in the mud and left for dead, essentially, and resurrect it. He went out and got the pieces. Because when they got there, none of these guys are here. Cooper Kupp wasn't there. Robert Woods wasn't there. Gerald Everett wasn't there. Tyler Higbee wasn't there. He brought all of this stuff in there. Only things that were there were Jared Goff and Todd Gurley. That was it when he showed up on the scene. And both of them were being used improperly. So, yes, it's partly because of Sean McVay. I already told you what he was going to do. But it takes a great coach to elevate the level of his players. But it also takes players with talent to make that coach's vision come to fruition. You can be the best coach in the world and have marginal players at best. You'll get the most out of those players, but guess what? You're still not going to play at a very, very high level because you don't have enough talent. That's why they had to go out and restock the cupboard when he got there, because they didn't have enough talent when he first got to Los Angeles with the Rams. They didn't have enough talent. So what did they do? They spent draft picks. They spent money on free agents. They went out and acquired tight ends. They got the offense to where it was a powerhouse and a juggernaut. He went out and got the talent that could make this offense work. And that's what it takes. It takes a brilliant offensive mind like Sean McVay, and it takes the talent to make it all come together. So while McVay is a huge part of why they're great right now, you got to give credit to those players. They make this thing go. And you talk to any coach, they'll tell you it's all about the players. The coaches are a huge part of the equation, but if you don't have the horses, it really doesn't matter. It does not matter. If Bill Belichick were coaching Ryan Fitzpatrick for the duration of his career, the man wouldn't be a Hall of Fame coach. You got to have the talent. Simple as that. Stevie D says, remember they were saying Dak was the best quarterback in that draft? Ha, ha, ha. Now he looks like a fourth-round game manager, and Goff and Wentz look like the real deal. Absolutely. I don't know if anybody was ever foolish enough to think that Dak was the best quarterback in that draft. I always thought it was Wentz. I still think it's Wentz. But I tell you what, Goff is giving him a run for his money now. And Dak Prescott looks god-awful right now. Just like you said, a fourth-round game manager is what he looks like. Reese says, Goff was dropping dimes like a bank teller with a bad hand. Hashtag Reese one-liners. Ree. Ree. KC says, Kirk was dead set on beating Goff in front of the home crowd today. The man had his A game. Kirk has looked so good in Minnesota, man. And I knew he had this in him. You know, he's looked so good. It's a damn shame that the defense has given him little to no help. I mean, you saw what he did in bringing them back versus Green Bay. Those throws in that game were ridiculous. The throws at the beginning of this game were ridiculous. How many throws went right over Ram defenders' hands? The throw to Aldrick Robinson for the first touchdown? Come on, man. He was getting hit as he threw that one. Right over Marcus Peters. The first throw to, I think it was Thielen. Hooked on a Thielen. Who could it be now? Right on the sidelines. With John Johnson trying to knock it down. Kirk had it going, man. Gary B says, Kirk looked good at times, but Kirk's no clutch. He won't produce it when it counts most. I disagree. What do you call against the Green Bay Packers? Granted, when he got hit and threw the interception, that would have been the end of the game. And that was a terrible call, but it gave him second life. What did he do with that? Did you see the touchdown pass to Adam Thielen to tie that game up again? Well, to give them a chance to go for 2 and tie the game up versus Green Bay? Come on, man. The man had a defender draped on him as he threw it fading away, getting hit into double coverage for a touchdown to Adam Thielen. But he's not clutch? Come on, guys. You remember what you want to remember. I'm not sitting here saying that Kirk's never came up short in the clutch. He's got plenty of well-documented choke jobs. We've seen that. But don't forget about the times that you like that game. Don't forget about the 80-yard drive to beat Philadelphia. Don't forget about all the things. The man right now, and see, this is what you guys fail to remember because you misremember things. You remember what you want to remember. You remember the last thing that you saw. It's the worst type of memory you can have. You don't understand it. Kirk Cousins, since 2015, has the most game-winning drives in the NFL. Did you know that? Let me let you ponder on that for a second. But he not clutch, though. I won't sit here and let y'all do my man Kirk like this. Like this man don't take his team down the field and put him in a position to win. I won't allow it. You can say what you want about Kirk coming up short because he does. Every quarterback does. But don't act like this man doesn't come up clutch for his team because I've watched him do it for years in Washington, and I watched him do it already this season. His kicker missed 2 overtime field goals. What you want the man to do? I watched his kicker miss a chip shot field goal in overtime in London versus the Cincinnati Bengals. What you want the man to do? I guess that's on him too. I guess Kirk got to kick field goals too. I don't know. I guess he's supposed to run, block, catch, and play defense and kick field goals. I don't understand. I just don't get it. But enough of that. JP says the Goffense shredded that Vikings defense. They're supposed to be one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they couldn't even beat the damn Bills in their building last week. Look, they're struggling right now, and it's all mental. They got the talent, man. This is the same team with an upgraded quarterback from last year. It's the same exact squad. They didn't lose any major pieces. They added a better quarterback, and they're worse right now. Why? Because the defense isn't playing at the same level. It's all mental. They got the talent. It's all up here. All up here. They got to fix it. I don't know what Mike Zimmer has to do, what he can say, how he can try to get them to understand that they're better than what they're showing on the field, but he has to do something before this gets out of control. Darth Vader BI says, Viking defense not looking good at all. It isn't. It really isn't right now. Excuse me. JCam99 says, I told you before that the Vikings and Packers were both overrated this year. That's why I thought 3 out of the 4 teams in the NFC West would make the playoffs. I just think the Rams now, though. So let me get this straight. So you're going to tell me that you were right about the Vikings and Packers being overrated, and then follow that statement up with, and that's why I told you 3 teams out of the NFC West are going to make the playoffs? The worst division in football, which you should have been able to see a mile away before the season started? That makes your first statement invalid. I can't listen to anything you just said because I can't hear after the statement that you made about the NFC West having 3 playoff teams. and just for the record, it's week 4. If Aaron Rodgers can somehow get healthy, the Packers will be fine. And the Vikings, I'm not giving up on the Vikings. They're 1-1-2 right now. There's a whole 13 weeks of football left. They'll be fine. They're a good football team. They'll figure it out. J.Cam Man says the Bears are the best team in the North right now. And I can't believe I'm saying it. They look like the best team, too. I wouldn't go that far. They barely escaped the desert with a win. The Cardinals are trash. Straight trash. And they needed 4 turnovers to squeak out of there with a 16-14 victory. I wouldn't go as far as to say they look like the best team in the division. Record-wise, yes, they are the best team in the division right now. I wouldn't go out on a limb and say they are the best team in that division right now. I can't pull myself to do it. Dylan Graham says, if Jared Goff plays like this all season, they're going to cruise over everyone this year. They got a shot. We've got 12 minutes left. They've got a shot to be a really explosive team that could win 14 games this year. After seeing them in the first 4 games of the season, obviously, shit's going to get tougher. You know, they've got Philadelphia. They've got some teams on the schedule that are going to really make it tough on them, you know, eventually. But right now, as it's constituted, and I'm trying to think, who does that division play? They play the AFC West. They're going to play the Chiefs. Oh, we talked about the Chiefs. So we're going to get to see those teams clash. I wonder where that game is, in L.A. or Kansas City. But we're going to get to see the Chiefs and the Rams. That should be fun. That should be a fun game because they play the AFC West this year. They're going to get Denver. That's a defense that can get after you. Case Keenum stinks. So they should be able to take care of them. The Raiders stink. They already took care of them. But and they already beat the Chargers. But that's going to be fun. Them and the Chiefs later on in the season. That's going to be a lot of fun. BK Soldier says, 82 points from just 3 players in fantasy. Yikes. That's a hell of a game. But that was the kind of offensive game tonight, though. If you played any of those guys, you started any of those guys, it was like a tilt machine. You just watch the points just rack up. Boom, 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 boom. KC says, Cooper Cup? Nah. That's Super Cup. Super Cup. JP says, whoever the Vikings defensive coordinator is, he needs to be fired. There you go. Always talking about somebody needs to be fired. Chill, bruh. 4 games into the season. They're missing one of their best defensive players. Chill. Double A says, man, we're still figuring out ourselves. Kind of sucks, but I'm still confident we'll get this division. Love and prayers to Griffin. Yeah, man. I still think you've got a great shot at winning the division as well. Everything you just said, I pretty much agree with. Definitely prayers go to Everson Griffin and his family and his situation right now. And you're definitely still trying to figure yourself out. And I still think you got a shot to win the division. So, yeah, I agree with just about everything you just said. JP says, hashtag Super Cup saves the day. Hey, Blackbird Blitz says, oh my God, stop with the local 757 commercial jingles. Cooper Cup, you killing my dude. And that was a national commercial. That wasn't a local commercial. That was a Folgers commercial, man. The best part of waking up is the Rams Cooper Cup. Get you some. Gregory Lightbody says they should stop putting my skins in primetime, always embarrassing themselves. Well, we'll see next week. Black LB says Kirk Cousins left the Redskins to join the Redskins. Shaking my head. He didn't know he was signing up for a team that would take a monumental step backwards early in the season. They can still right the ship. It's not like we're 9 weeks into the season and this is the Vikings defense. They can still right the ship. They can turn it around. And I imagine that they will, as long as they can stay relatively healthy. I think they'll figure it out at some point. They'll tinker and tweak a few things. They'll figure out what's wrong, and the light switch will come on because, like I said, it's essentially the same defense. You know, not many moving parts. So you would think that they would be able to carry over a lot of the same principles and things that they executed last year. But also, and I think we talked about it during the season last year, when you play a soft schedule, it also helps. You know, shit gets real when your schedule heats up. And I think they played like, I think Minnesota had the AFC South last year. Maybe it was the South. I'm trying to think who they played division-wise. I thought it was a pretty bad division they played last year. I really think it was the South that they played last year. And when you got the teams like the South was the worst division in football last year. Obviously, with two of the worst teams in the league, in the Colts and the Texans, it allows you to build up some confidence. But the Vikings were really good on defense last year. I mean, we saw them take down some of the best offenses in football and reduce them to next to nothing. So they just got to figure out some things. J Cam Man says, what's going on with Dalvin Cook? He looked great last year, rough sophomore season. Still working him back slowly from the injury. You know, everybody doesn't respond to injuries the same way. You know, sometimes as fans, you get exposed to superhuman freaks like Adrian Peterson. And you think everybody's supposed to come back in 6 months and rush for 2,000 yards. Like, that's not how it works. You tear your ACL, that's a 9 to 11 month injury. And even with modern science and how guys are coming back faster than ever, it's still an injury that requires time and patience. And they don't want to rush him back, and he's dealing with another injury now. And they don't want to have this guy come back too soon and hurt something else. So they're just slowly bringing him along. No, he's not the same guy that he was to start out the season where he was looking like gangbusters. I mean, he was kicking ass. They got to work him back slowly, and that's what they're doing right now. Let's see. Go back. I just skipped a bunch of comments, so I'm trying to go back up. All right. Damn. We got 6 minutes, so I'm going to just start picking some stuff out. So I'm going to scroll down. Ron Cole III says, Rams looking good, early Super Bowl pick. Can't go wrong right now. Emperor Meat says, I believe another reason the Vikings are struggling is due to offensive imbalance due to the run game and missing Griffin on defense. You could argue that the lack of the run game, if you're not completing passes and you go 3 and out, put defense back out on the field, but they're moving the football offensively for the most part. You know, outside of that Buffalo game, they've pretty much moved the football in every game they've played in this year. So, you know how it goes. The 20th Mike says, maybe the Chiefs will slow them down or maybe contenders against the Rams as far as I can see. That's going to be a fun game, man. It really is. JP, you stupid, man. Hey, go ahead, man. SOL's Nation says, hindsight, do we miss Kirk? You knew we was going to miss him when he left. I like Alex Smith, and I don't have a problem with Alex Smith, and I like the way the direction of the team is going, but if you think we wouldn't be a better team with Kirk Cousins right now because the defense is better, then you're sadly mistaken. Larry G's the best says people blaming Kirk Cousins, but if it was Tom Brady behind that shitty ass line, they wouldn't say it was the line. I just don't understand, what they want from this man. Dude threw for damn near 400, put the team on his back tonight with no run game, no defense, gave him a chance. FBG Tony says, yo, the Vikes are just terrible defensively. They better fix it before they become the Minnesota Redskins. Dre True Statement says, not taking anything from Goff or Kirk, but do you think all these inflated numbers from quarterbacks and receivers and bad defensive performances may be due to all the new penalties? Nah, not necessarily. The NFL is all about offense. We know this to be a fact. All the rules implemented and put in place are to help the offenses score more points because what's entertaining? Look, the game tonight was entertaining. The game on Monday night was entertaining. Why? Because one game was 30-27. This game was 38-31. Nobody wants to see Jacksonville and Tennessee duel it out to a 9-6 finish. That's not sexy. That's not cute. That's not what moves the needle. The NFL doesn't want that. They want this, what we got tonight. And in order to get this, you got to put rules in place that help the offense succeed. But no, I don't think that these numbers are inflated. These guys are just that good. The defenses get paid to make plays, and offenses get paid to make plays. And right now, the offenses are making more plays than the defenses are. So, Cloud says, man, this game was crazy. Rams looking nice. Still not scared, though. Till somebody knocks y'all off the perch, no reason to be. John Perez says, 2 questions. Any thoughts on the Dolphins being 3-0, and if they beat the Patriots, are they for real? That's the game that I want to see. On the road, at New England, you beat them, then I'm going to change my whole outlook on the Dolphins. But until they do that, nah. Let's see. J. Camman says, Goff has an entire team around him that is great. Without that, Goff probably isn't that special. That's why Dak looked so good his first year. Dak looked good his first year because of the run game in Dallas, and it snuck up on everybody. And their offense was so elementary in his first season, and nobody made adjustments to stop it. Plus, the run game was so dynamic with Zeke, and it was so fresh, it was so new. You know how that goes in the league. Robert Griffin III jumps onto the scene, and they're running all this read option, and we're running the drift route a million times. Everything looks sweet and great, and then teams make adjustments the next year, and that shit don't work no more. And that's what happened to Dak Prescott. You take away some of his weapons, and he wasn't utilizing them correctly anyway. And then the offensive line isn't the same that it once was. And now all of a sudden you're telling Dak, you got to do this, man. You got to actually really contribute. It's not good enough for you to just manage the game and make a couple of throws on third down. You got to actually go out and win us football game. He's not capable of doing it. Not, especially not with the lack of talent that they have at the receiver position. Let's see. SOL's Nation says, they've been blaming Kirk since RG3 went down in the playoff game. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. It's easy to blame the quarterback because he has the ball the most out of anybody. So, that's just how it goes. The quarterback's going to get a lot of the adulation when things go right, and they're going to get a lot of the blame when things don't go right. All right, we hit the hour mark. Young Mello says the Rams looking like my Panthers in 2015. Yeah, kind of. I think they got some of that je ne sais quoi going on right now. That same kind of swag and flair that the Panthers had, where they was just blowing teams out. And I don't know if they're going to go 15. I think, where were you guys? 14-0 before you lost to Atlanta? I don't know if somebody's going to trip them up before they get that deep into the season undefeated. But if anybody had a chance to make a run at going undefeated, it'd be this team right here. This is the team with the best opportunity to do that in 2018, but I don't see it happening. In any event, man, That's going to do it for me tonight, man. I appreciate y'all checking me out. Rams, uber impressive, 38-31 over the Vikings. Hell, the Vikings themselves on the offensive side, very impressive. This is a really fun game to watch from an offensive standpoint. Vikings have so much work to do on the defensive side of the football. We thought last week against the Bills was an aberration and maybe they'd snap out of it. They're just bad on defense right now. They've got to fix and clean some things up. And they've got 10 days to do it now. Somewhat of a faux bye week. Let's see what they do with it because they definitely need to make some adjustments. That is for certain. But the Rams, not many adjustments needed right now. They're 4-0. They're scoring over 30 points a game. And right now they don't look like they can be stopped on the offensive side of the football. And the defense isn't even playing top-notch football quite yet. If they ever get it all figured out on defense too, man, this Rams outfit could be a really, really dangerous team and one that I don't even know if the Eagles can contend with in 2018. And those two teams will match up at some point this year as both won the division. So looking forward to that. Remember, they played an epic game last year. I think it was 43-38. That was the game Wentz got hurt in, and Foles came in and kept the party going. So I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup again, too. It's going to be some fascinating games with this Rams team. Chiefs, Eagles. Going to be some good games with this Rams football team this season down the line. But that's all the time I got for you guys tonight. Really appreciate you joining me. Remember, hey, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Make sure that you share the video as well. We're changing the game one live feed at a time. And I'm going to see you guys next time. And be on the lookout for the podcast. That should be out tomorrow. Louie T Network podcast on Stitcher, on iTunes, on the website louietnetwork.net, on Google Music Play as well. So check it out. So brand new episode of the Louie T Network podcast should be out tomorrow. In any event, I'm your man Louie T, signing off. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Louie T Network.